What is mesh? Mesh is basically like a long distance, low power, low bandwidth radio signal. It started in 2020. It's open source, decentralized, private, and encrypted, which is pretty cool. Here in the US, it works on the 915 megahertz spectrum of the radio bandwidth. And basically it runs off the ISM signal. And so what ISM is basically industrial, scientific, and medical frequencies. And in Europe, it operates a little bit different. So if you guys are in Europe, or gals, make sure you just select the right device when you're buying one. Pretty cool things it can do is it can do text messaging without cellular or any type of data service. So basically it's like a peer-to-peer network. So from node to node, you would consider this like a node. And it goes a really long way. So far, the furthest distance that I've communicated with somebody about is around 250 miles so far. Now granted, I had a lot of nodes in between me, which made it more successful. So the more mesh devices are out there, the better it works. As you can see from my map here, this was when I was recently in Las Vegas. It picked up a bunch of different mesh nodes that were in Vegas. So essentially I could have communicated with all those people. I did send a test message out, nobody replied. Here where I live, I'm not gonna tell you, but I received a signal from someone carrying a mesh device on an airplane, and they were reaching out about 800 feet up, asking if anybody got the signal. Super cool. What can you use this for? Texting your family. The mesh network only works off of texting for now, but there are other networks that can do image, pictures, and text. And that is called the Reticulum network for a bonus challenge if you want to go learn about that. Once again, that's the Reticulum network. But today we're talking about mesh. So I'll show you my mesh device here. This is the Heltec V3. Make sure you get the latest version because there are some updates over the, I think, version 1 or version 2, and a better battery life. The case in this one is by Maker Hawk. It came as a whole set. I'll flip it over so you can see the insides of it. You will have to put it together, but rest assured, anybody can do it. It's just a couple wires and gluing on the battery pack, but it's not really glue, it's sticky tape. But just be careful because there's a lot of small pieces in there. Before you power yours on, one thing to make sure is connect the antenna. You'll see that over here. Otherwise it could damage the device. Now you also are going to need to flash it with the software at the Meshtastic site. It's all really easy to do. There's tons of YouTube tutorials out there showing how to use this, and it's just the neatest technology. I've recently learned about it over the past couple months. I used it a bunch at a hacking conference, and we were all communicating on the mesh network at the conference, which is pretty great. You can set up individual groups, so if you have a family or a neighborhood, you can make your own private groups. The traffic is all encrypted with AES 128 or AES 256 encryption. If you don't know what that means, it's a good time to go look it up and learn a little bit about it. And let's see what else. You can really use it for like off-grid adventures, disaster prep, and like I said, community and neighborhood networks. Somebody I recently taught how to use all this. They worked at a cave reserve and we're using it for the employees at the cave reserve. Pretty cool. Some of the most popular devices out there are this one, the Heltec V3. There is also another one called the LilyGo T-Beam and the LilyGo T-Echo. Rack Wireless also has another popular one. There's a lot of people that sell these online, different retailers. Make sure to vet it. Make sure to use privacy-focused payment options, gift cards. Just remember what you're learning here when you purchase this. Follow all the alchemist's advice when it comes to making online purchases, just so you can stay private, because that's obviously what this is all about. I'll show you a little bit about the web interface. It's really cool. It can work on your cell phone, or it can work off of the web interface here, as you can see. So without revealing my location, the furthest distance between these 2 points on the screen is about 2,000 miles. Neither one of these are mine, but it's nodes that I picked up along my travels. So far I've got about 200 nodes, as you can see. I've got numerous channels, which for security purposes, I'm not going to show you what channels I have right now, but when you get yours, you're going to want to hook it up to the MQTT network. Once again, that's MQTT network. These are some of the devices out there available. And you can use it on a Raspberry Pi if you so choose. There's a distribution of Linux that you can install on a Raspberry Pi to run a more powerful node. And just remember, if you're buying one and you're in the US, get the 915 megahertz one. If you're in Europe, get the 860 or so megahertz one. Just make sure you're buying the right one. Do a little bit of due diligence before you purchase it, and hopefully we'll all be communicating on the mesh soon. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.